Yeah, it was definitely surprising that those veterans just laid in a storage room. So, and all of the people. I shouldn't say just the veterans, just all the people.
New tonight, local county coroners facing a growing issue of unclaimed remains. KDKA Investigates is learning that dozens of remains go unclaimed every year.
KDKA investigator Erika Stanish is digging into the reasons for that and what some local coroners do so those remains aren't just sitting on a shelf for decades.
From Beaver, Westmoreland to Fayette, county coroners tell me it's becoming more often that their offices see remains go unclaimed. Some pointing to family strife and money to reasons why. We're learning how they work to track down next of kin and what happens if some are left unclaimed.
I saw several boxes stacked, they almost looked like donut boxes, and I said, what are those? We're told to me that those were our unclaimed cremated remains.
In January of 2022, Tim Carson took office as the Westmoreland County Coroner, and it was then that he found dozens of boxes of unclaimed remains, 57 in total.
We ran all 57 names through, and 15 of them turned out to be United States veterans.
A few short months later, Carson worked with the state to honor each veteran with a full military service and lay them to rest, some of whom had been sitting in a storage room since 1989.
Sort of, my children being born, that day, that July 22nd was the most, powerful day in my life in terms of, just significance and just seeing how our area, our country, everyone just came together.
Carson says on average, his office sees 6 to 9 unclaimed remains each year and says the main reason comes down to estrangement.
Sometimes we do find a next of kin and they say, hey, I didn't like when they were alive. I'm not taking responsibility for them.
Washington County Coroner Tim Warko says finances can also be an issue, with some families reporting they simply can't afford arrangements. When remains go unclaimed, each county coroner says it comes out of the county's general fund to cremate and transport, supported by the taxpayer's wallet. KDKA Investigates found the number of unclaimed remains varies in each county. Over the last 40 years in Fayette, the coroner reports 8 unclaimed remains. In Indiana, 30 over the last 10 years. But in Washington, Warko says since 2016, his office has investigated 218 unclaimed remains, with 135 remaining unclaimed. And Allegheny County has seen on average 133 unclaimed remains between 2019 and 2023. Another challenge they say can be tracking down family. Carson says his office uses social media and a program called TLO.
The deputies can get into and they can, go back to, looking at people's, driver's license records, places they may have lived at, worked at, and then we just kind of backtrack from there.
After exhausting all resources, Carson says if they can't locate family or if families choose not to claim, the body will be cremated. If they're a veteran, he says they'll receive a proper burial at the National Cemetery of the Alleghenies. And in Westmoreland, other unclaimed remains are laid to rest here in a columbarium next to Pauper Cemetery in Greensburg.
We were able to move all the other remains up there. And we had a real nice ceremony up there.
Those ceremonies happening throughout the year, including just this month.
Grant that our brothers and sisters may rest here in peace.
Carson says they have 30 spaces left for unclaimed remains, but plans to add to the memorial as needed. Other neighboring counties say they also have space in mausoleums to ensure each person is remembered with dignity, and family members, if they choose, can still pay their respects. Erika Stanish, KDKA-TV News.